Welcome to Flirting with Realities, episode number 50, where we show you how just a mindset shift can change your world. And we're your reality bending hosts. This is Eric and I'm Carol. So happy to have you here.
I need one of those horns going. Happy 50th podcast.
Yeah.
Again, this will be the only time we ever have a 50th podcast.
True.
So it makes it much more special because...
Yes, it's the only one that will ever happen.
Yeah. What if our numbers were based on something different where 49 was cool?
True. Think about that. This is how we teach you The Matrix is not a fiction movie. What if number 49 was as special as number 50?
I mean, it is. So, like I saw a thing that said instead of having all the months have different days, if they all had, I think it was 30 days or 28 days. Well, it wouldn't be 28. 30 days maybe. Then all the months could have like 30 days, and all the months would like start on Monday and end on Sunday or something. Like it was like a much more logical setup. But I don't know. Like the months are all interesting. How it's all mathematical and figured out.
Yeah.
I've never really looked into it.
I haven't either.
But isn't it funny we have leap year?
It is funny because I would tell them my birthday and they'd be like, "Oh, are you a leap year baby?" And I was like, "No, I wasn't born in a leap year." And they couldn't get it. They're like, "Oh." Like they think leap year is every year, but it's not. It's a leap year. It gets confusing.
Not really. It's just every 4 years we have an extra day.
Yeah.
Because the math didn't work out exactly. That's kind of funny if you think about it, because like that's kind of what Terrence Howard's saying is about 1 times 1, or the square root of 2, any of that. It's kind of like if you think about that, like, well, how good is our math if you're like, every 4 years just throw an extra day in there and we'll call it good. Well, I think somebody screwed that up, right?
Very possibly.
But maybe it just doesn't work out. Like maybe you can't add 1 second to the day and that equals your...
I'm sure there's some reason behind it, but how long have we had the months? Because maybe we could figure it out now, but there's no sense in changing it.
Oh, but I think they've known this. But I think that's what Terrence Howard is saying is there is flaws. Yeah. There's flaws, but we've become so indoctrinated with how we do math that we're like, well, we're not changing it. And listen, I'm not a mathematician. I don't know. But, it's kind of like, what if we never corrected that leap year day? And all of a sudden it would be like snowing in July, because you'd be like, I don't know, we're like not as far around the sun as like we should be. Like it just gets worse every year. Like everything drifts. And,
yeah. Who knows?
But anyway, I think that's what he's saying is like, well, what's wrong? If your math's so good, why isn't it perfect? Math should be perfect, right? I think 1 + 1 is always 2.
It should be. In a perfect world, it would be perfect.
You know what else is cool though is sundials.
Tell me, what's so cool about sundials?
Well, it's just cool how the sun can go across. Have you ever seen a sundial on the ground?
I have.
They're awesome. Like they just tell the time all the time.
Yeah.
But they even like throw an error equation in there a little bit for like when it turns fall or spring or anything. That's what I don't get about the flat Earth people is like this is all like highly refined.
I think there's just some people that you can't like try to reason with, and I think that's okay. They're entitled to their opinion, I guess.
The thing is, I like those kind of things. I want to believe in flat Earth, but dude, it's so far out there. It's just so like, I can't come along with you guys, but I really want to. Like, like, would some of you guys just give me some good information where I can actually buy into it and come along with you? You guys always screw it up. Like you don't.
Yeah.
Like the one I like lately is I like the moon landing. It doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't know what you wanted to talk about tonight, but I don't know. I guess something like to me that's like been ultra interesting when I've talked to you about it, and I don't think you care so much. Is the Donald Trump thing being shot here, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Well, I think it's interesting on so many different levels, you know, and I don't know what to think about it. It's just all it's like kind of COVID like lifted up the curtain to see who the Wizard of Oz is a little bit, you know, and you can see its feet. And now I feel like we're almost just looking at the Wizard of Oz, like we can almost just see the whole thing. I feel like it's just becoming more and more transparent and more crazy. Like the thing is like it's the whole situation's crazy with him being shot or whatever, or if he was shot, and like the Secret Service like not knowing, like not being competent. Like since when? Like haven't
Exactly.
Since when? Well, but here's the weird thing: have they always not been competent? We just like don't know it.
They're exceptional at what they do.
Well, yeah, I mean that's
exceptional. There's
led to believe
these are the highest of high qualified people.
Well, maybe we defunded them. So now we've got like maybe they're like temp service people now. Like you know, you just go into an office and you're like, hey, I need a job for today, and they're like, oh, look, Secret Service needs help. Donald Trump's doing a rally. Like, let's just send you over there. Here's a gun and a holster, and don't use it.
I think you might offend some Secret Service people out there by saying they got their jobs by.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm just saying these people at the Donald Trump thing. Well, you haven't paid attention to it.
No, I'm not paying attention to it.
They had this Secret Service lady. She was so freaked out. She got out of the limo or whatever it is, you know, the Suburban. She got out of the limo and she was like, and she didn't know what to do with herself because she's so freaked out. And she pulls her gun out, and then she's like, "Oh, I don't need my gun," and she like could not find her holster. Like she tried like 3 or 4 times to find her holster, and then she just walked around with her gun because she didn't want to look like any more of an idiot. And like then she tried again, and like she finally found her holster, and it's like, wow. And that's what I'm talking about is like the temp service people. Like,
yeah, I'm not sure I believe any of this is real.
Well, I think that's what I'm talking about. That's why this is so interesting to me. That's why the whole Donald Trump thing is so interesting, because it's Donald Trump being shot is so out there, but not really. You know, you could see that one coming. But then by this nerdy kid, really? And then this nerdy kid tricked the Secret Service. And then the Secret Service was like these people that just like a temp service thing. Like it's all like what? Like what part of this is real?
Very good question.
I don't know. It's just and I think the thing I think you have all that going, but then I think you have the bigger issue of I think it's basically the same as taking a stick and just smacking a beehive. I think that's what it's done to the United States. I feel like people are like, it just sent everybody into high alert.
Because Donald Trump got shot?
Oh, Donald?
Donald.
Donald would be a cool name. You just made a new one up. Well, yeah, because I think this is just my projecting, but you know, I feel like there's been a push for dividing the left and the right for so long. And I think they're trying to get the left and the right to fight. And I think this was like a huge like F you to the right. Like we're coming after you. I think that's the message that was sent. I think that's how it was interpreted. And so I think the right's like, oh, you're gonna shoot us now, huh? It's just this weird thing that like I think it's really affected the people. I think it's like, hey, let's have a civil war now. You're gonna shoot our guy? No, you're not. We're gonna kill you now. I think that's how people are really taking this.
An interesting take, I guess.
I mean, but I don't know. And that's what I'm saying is it's like the whole thing is like, woo, a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
But this is what I've been saying is I think people need to take a step back, and they need to realize this is not about Donald Trump. It is not about Joe Biden. It is not about politics. It's about us as people, and it's about bringing us down. And, you know, if we were able to hold it together and just be stronger, there would be no problems. And everybody's afraid of Trump or Biden bringing us down when it's really going to be you. It's really going to be me that bring us down because you're losing your shit because some kid shot Donald Trump in the ear. You freaking out about this is what's going to bring things down. So I don't know. I think, you know, I mean, hey, whatever. People are going to do what they're going to do. It's all determined.
Well, united we stand, divided we fall. I mean, it is a thing. Division is going to be the downfall of the country. But
well, and that's why I think this is interesting. That's why I think it was planned. That's why I think it happened.
Could be, yeah.
And then that's why I say, you know, that's why I've been talking to you about the election in November. I mean, Trump wins, the left's going to lose their mind. If Trump doesn't win, the right's going to lose their mind. It's just going to be a tough one.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do?
You know, I'm going to do hydroponics and chickens, and I'm going to.
This is what I'm saying. I mean, you have a choice of, like you said, it comes down to you. Who are you going to be? And I think that's the bigger deal here. Like you said, no matter who becomes our president, who are you going to be? Are you going to be someone that, like, someone would be proud of and, like, can look up to you and come to you? Or are you going to be someone who's dividing people further?
Well, that's the thing to me is I look at these people that hate Trump, and all I can see is hate. And it makes total sense because, like, if I hated Trump, Trump's not the problem. I'm the problem.
I think so.
Because I have the ability to hate. It's that, and that's what I'm saying. And I don't want to bash on Trump haters, but there's the point of like your hatred for somebody. I mean, there's so much behind it. Like your hatred for Trump is what fuels him. You are his food. You know, and it's like if you think he's such a bad man, which fine, you know, let's just for sake of argument, let's say he's a horrible person. The way you battle evil is not with more evil. The way you battle evil is with good. That's what cripples it. The way you fuel evil is with more evil. It's just I don't know. It's if there's any way out of this, you know, whether it's the right or the left, people have just got to realize, like you're saying, you can't. I don't even know if it's enough to be a good person. Like you have to like rise above being a good person. You have to be an amazing person and somehow swing the rest of the population into being better. You know, it's almost not enough that you just take care of yourself and be a decent person. It's like we need some real like leadership.
Well, I think it all comes down to, as well as, we need way more love in the world because we're looking at each other, and you know, there's a lot of people saying I'm such a peaceful, kind person. Well, I can tell you personally, I don't see a lot of peaceful, kind people where I work.
No.
I see a lot of different people every day, but I've made a decision to, I mean, I at once was allowing someone who wasn't peaceful to interrupt my day. And This is exactly what we're talking about. As soon as I switch that around and I'm sending them love and kindness and they're not going to impact who I am, that's exactly, and I'm not saying I'm the end all of be all. I'm just saying that this has shifted my life and made my life better. And that's, I know it's just grumpy people, but this is what we need, is just more love.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree, but I think, I guess my problem is I'm a pessimist. I don't think it's going to happen. And the reason I think that is I think much like alcoholism, you've got to hit rock bottom. Like you got to find that rock bottom. And I just don't think we're that close. I don't think we're there. I don't think people are even like people want to fight more. You know what I mean? It's like we're going. I can just see where we're going, and it's let's make this worse is where people are going right now.
Well, I think another thing too that's not helping is social media.
For sure.
It's fueling fire. And I can tell you, since I've been off of it, I mean, it's a life-changing experience. And you've expressed to me that you can even tell sometimes it's inciting, like, to like piss you off, like showing you things that would irritate you.
Oh, it all is. Yeah. Well, I mean that's all up to your algorithm, which you choose.
Yeah.
But the thing is you are much more likely to react to something that fuels you emotionally than something you just like. But I mean, yeah, I've talked about that where I've been on Facebook and I started liking things that were like good sayings, like helpful sayings. I just started liking a bunch in a row, and all of a sudden my algorithm changed, and all of a sudden that's what I was seeing in there. But it's like Facebook just has a way of pulling you back in. That's what I've been telling you. Is I go in there for work, and the very first thing that pops up is like triggering me, and it's like, you know, and then all you've got to do is like you comment on that post, and then you're in it. Like they just keep showing you the same stuff, and it's like they've got it down. They've got it down to a science. But that's what we're saying, right? Is like Facebook's just like, hey man, I want to make more money. I want more people on my platform. How do I do this? And they don't care at any expense. I mean, this could literally be tearing the country apart, and they're like, hey, money, sweet, you know. But that's also the funny thing is, right? We've talked about TikTok and how TikTok is only showing the great things that China's doing. That's what they show in your algorithm. Like if you live in China, but if you live in the United States, you're showing you anxiety ridden people and like just crap, just like death and like weird stuff that makes you feel gross, you know. And it's like I used to be hardcore thinking people should have the choice to look at whatever they want, but there's a point where you're being pushed into a corner and you're being brainwashed, and it's not actually a choice. And I guess unfortunately I can't believe some of the things I'm saying these days, but we're just not responsible enough as individuals to make good choices. We need somebody to monitor these things, I guess. Which is crazy because that enters like the freedom of speech and like misinformation thing they're doing, and I'm hardcore the other way.
Well, I think when you have outside influences attacking your people, because that's what's happening.
Yeah.
That's different than freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Like it's a security issue. If a, dictatorship is like trying to make your people have anxiety and depression, I don't think that's the same thing. I think you're securing your people if you step in.
Yeah, I've never realized how easily brainwashed we are. I still can't believe it when I think about some things that are going on and how people just buy into it. But I don't know, isn't it funny? Like, didn't you ever go through like school or something, and they're talking about maybe Nazi Germany, or talking about something about being brainwashed, and you'd hear about it, and you'd be like,
Not
"There's
even possible.
yeah, like I wouldn't be brainwashed," and they'd be like, "Well, 95% of people were brainwashed," and be like, "Yeah, but that wouldn't be me," and you were like certain it wouldn't be me, and now I feel like it's not me, but everybody feels like it's not them, don't
Yeah.
they?
Oh,
Everybody's
I'm sure. I talked to you about my marketing class when I found out just the manipulation in a grocery store and pretty much all over the world. You you're brainwashed just at the check stand counter at the grocery store.
yeah, with the gum and the candy and the sodas and
All these companies buy their place on a shelf for you, like, to see it at eye level, whatever they think that will manipulate you into buying it.
yeah.
There's They know how to manipulate us. It's known, it's well known, and it's repetitive, and yeah, you need to be aware that you may not be making your own choices. I think materialism, social media, I mean, just heavy distractions are all things just to pay attention to be mindful of.
Can you imagine though if the internet got turned off? Like if it we had some like solar flare or something, and it turned the internet off. Do you like how much would the world change in 12 hours?
Well, I think there would be a lot of disruption at first,
Yeah.
but then it would level out.
But I mean people would like start come climbing out of their houses and they'd be like, ah, the sun.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. I think of like girls where I see them like doing selfies of themselves just all over the place in a grocery store, in their car. Like, I think like a lot of people wouldn't know what to do with themselves for a little bit.
Yeah. How many girls do you think could still take pictures of themselves without the internet? Probably still be a good, decent few, right?
I'm sure they would for a while until they had no one to show them to.
Why do you think girls take selfies? Like it's
Well, I think it's just something they've been taught to do, and I think that's the reason now, but who knows why it started.
and then guys just take pictures of stuff.
Yeah.
Girls take pictures of themselves.
Some guys take selfies.
They do.
Yeah, sure.
Hmm. I don't see it.
Yeah. I don't either because I'm not on social media.
They take like selfies in the store and in the car and the restaurants and stuff like that.
No, like it's mostly gym
Yeah,
or
that's different.
restaurants
The
or
gym's
in front
different.
of their cars.
They do in front of their cars.
Yeah.
That's weird. Only time I've ever taken a selfie is to send it to you.
Yeah, I like them. I appreciate them.
I've never taken a selfie otherwise.
I
And is it a selfie if I send it to you? I guess it is, right?
I mean, technically, but I think we're just sending each other pictures, but somebody else might say it's a selfie. I think it's a very narcissistic thing to do, in all honesty. And I actually went through a period where, like, I didn't like taking pictures of myself at all. So when I left Alaska and came here, that was one thing that I was getting comfortable doing you could see in my old social media the progression of, like, at very first I didn't even know how to smile at all. Like, I didn't smile in a picture. And then it was good for my self-confidence, but I was doing it for me, not for anybody else that was out there. But I have to admit, sometimes when you get attention, it's doesn't hurt your feelings.
Well, it depends
But
who you're getting attention from, right?
yeah, for sure. But I think this whole liking things, liking pictures, liking what things have, liking what people have, like if they're in their Lamborghini or their mansion or they're shopping for these expensive clothes, it's leading society into a very materialistic and greedy direction. And we all know what the seven deadly sins are, and it's clearly showing its surface right now on the world. Well, in America. I don't know about the world. I can't speak for the world.
I guess that's weird because I've never thought about it. Like anything I've ever liked, it's never been a. It's never been a dude with a new anything. Like it's always just like it's like something that I like to look at. Like
Yeah.
I don't like things. I do, I guess, if I have like a friend I want to support, I'll like anything they do. But if I'm just looking at general stuff, I only like things that are visually appealing to me that I want to see more of. And I really don't like nearly as much as I should because I just like, oh, that's cool, but I don't need to tell anybody about it.
Yeah, I was the same way, but my stuff was very like spiritual oriented and you know, affirmations and that kind of fitness. It was pretty positive actually, but I still don't miss it. It still is a huge distraction
Yeah.
that I don't miss at all.
Yeah. Do you find yourself looking for other distractions?
Yeah, but I'll notice it. And then like I still fan through that news page every now and again, and I just started noticing in the last few days that, and I was like, I think I need to delete this again. I'm doing it a little too much.
I don't know if you're doing it too much, but I have noticed you picking it up a lot more.
Yeah. I've been looking at the news lately.
It's kind of like it's. I mean, it's a tough thing because that's where your brain wants to go to this like comfort numbing area where it just goes. "Ugh." Just look at the screen and just for like an hour.
Yeah, I'm really trying. Like this morning after you went outside, I just sat on the deck and did nothing. Like I'm trying to give myself time in the day, like 15, 20 minutes, where I'm not like engaged in something, where I just have to sit there in my thoughts. And I actually think it's a healthy thing to do. You have to think, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, even when we were kids, I had to sit in my thoughts at times. I don't think it's a terrible thing.
The thing is, I've never. If I sit there and I'm not doing anything, I guess I have to think about it. But if I'm sitting there and not doing anything, it makes me want to just do things.
That's exactly. It does.
It motivates me to get up and like do something. Like I don't really enjoy just sitting.
It's more of the reason behind it is getting comfortable with that discomfort because it is hugely uncomfortable for me as well.
Yeah, I don't know. It to me, like I totally understand that. Like you should just be and you should just be present, right? Just like, hey, I'm here. But to me, it also feels like a big deal to me is um, experiences. Like I'm really huge on experience, and I'm huge on feeling like I've lived my life. And I feel like when I'm sitting there, just being and just sitting there, like I don't feel like I'm getting my experiences.
Which is interesting because do you feel like you're getting them if you're scrolling through Instagram
Oh
or
no, no, no TV, no movies, no Instagram, none of that crap. I don't feel like that's experience.
so what do you do when you are on the deck?
Well, am I with you or no?
No, by yourself.
Well, it usually turns into like I'll get up and go do something, or I'll look at the plants, or I take a nap, or do something.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I've normally been that person, but I'm just trying to like get beyond, I mean, grow a bit more, I guess, for me in a direction. I don't think it's for everyone.
Well, it's just interesting because I also have this anxiety of not feeling like I've lived, not feeling like my life has been long enough. Not in terms of living to be 85, but in terms of holy shit, this year went by so fast. Like I want my, I want to say this year went by slowly. That's what I want to say. And for some reason, I feel like doing things slows that down, but I think it's the opposite. I guess. I don't know. The funny thing about slowing time down is time has seemed to go insane on us.
Yeah.
But now you and I have been waking up early and the days have been much longer, which is weird because I don't think we're living less hours. I think we're sleeping the same amount of hours, but I think the way we're using our time is different. I think before, like I said, I think before we'd wake up later and so we'd be awake till, I don't know, midnight one maybe.
Yeah. We got in that habit for sure.
Yeah, but I think like we've talked about this, but I feel like the night was over at 8, and so you're like, might as well watch some UFC and hang out and like chill and wind down. And so that like from 8 to 1, which is 5 hours, which is a ton of time, is kind of wasted.
You think we watched TV for 5 hours?
There was a time like a year or two ago.
Oh, yeah. I thought you
I'm
meant
not talking about
lately
that though. No.
because before we were doing this, I still felt like we were busy doing our breath work, sauna, cold bath routine. And then, like, after cold bath, you'd work on hydroponics. I don't feel like it was, I thought you were talking about that. But yeah, we did get into, I don't think it was 5 hours, but maybe I just don't have a good memory of it.
Well, I feel like the days they feel like they're much longer. I feel like they're very purposeful. I mean, I think we hang out for maybe an hour or two a day and not do anything.
Yeah, maybe.
Which I don't know how that compares to most people, but I feel like that's not a ton of downtime.
I don't think it is.
Hour or two, I don't know. I mean, there's been times in my life where I've literally not had a minute for years, and then there's sometimes I don't know. I've never had a point in my life where there's like 6 or 7 hours a day of just TV or doing nothing. I've just never done that. I don't want to do that.
Can people do that?
Oh, God, people do it every day. What are you talking about? People come
6 or 7 hours?
People come home at 5 o'clock after work and they sit down on the couch until 10 or 11 for sure every day. Every day. Think about some of these kids that play video games for 18 hours a day.
Oh yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
You're melting your brain.
Yeah, but they have amazing hand-eye coordination. I'm not joking.
No, I'm sure.
It's
but
insane.
Like I can only imagine the feeling of being lethargic.
Yeah.
Would be insane. Like
I
my brain
think
would
so
not handle that.
because I did notice that if I was on my phone for a length of time that it makes me feel bleh.
Like I can't even really watch a movie for 2 hours without feeling lethargic.
Oh, I can. I can watch movies.
Yeah, I think you like TV.
I love movies for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway,
Happy 50th. Thanks for watching.
Is that our closing out? I guess we got a sauna to go sit in, and we kind of got a late start.
Yeah, we did.
Bit of a, I'm gonna say lazy, but I'm tired today. So
Yeah, we've been waking up early.
waking up early and then, yeah, getting stuff done, working all day and exercise and stuff. So, okay, you good then?
I'm good. Are you good? Are you good?
They're good. Happy 50th to us.
Happy 50th.
And it seems like it's catching on. Last week's, we got quite a few views.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
15 or 20, like a ton of views.
Woo!
We're just barely starting.
Wait till we get to 100, man. We're going to have like 40 people watching.
Yeah, you guys are going to feel like you know us. Like, oh, did you see what Eric and Carol were talking about on Thursday? Like, like, yeah.
No, she didn't.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, thanks for watching, and I guess I'll see you next week.